What's going on, folks? Welcome back to Beans to Greens. In today's episode, we'll be covering how to make an organic seedling soil. I've used a bunch of different materials and combinations of soils over the years, and I found that this is the best. So I'm going to cover all the materials that I use in this seedling soil, along with ratios in which I use them and also why I use them. So why don't I go grab the materials and we'll get right into it. All right, folks, got all my materials here now and we'll start mixing them up. I like to use the Roots Organics potting soil along with the Coast of Maine manure compost and then also some earthworm castings as well. Now, you could use just the Roots Organics. I have in the past, but I do prefer to add a little bit of the Coast of Maine and the earthworm castings for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to add a little bit more biology to the soil, and then two, it's just better for a little bit more moisture retention. This seedlings or this soil here, this has got a lot of perlite in it, and so it drains a lot, and we're going to want a little bit more moisture retaining for when we're germinating these seeds. So I am going to be popping 2 beans today, so we do need to make enough soil for 2 cups. I like to use these cups because I could intend to grow in them for about 3 weeks before transplanting into a bigger container, and they work out really well for me. So we're going to go half of the Roots Organics and then a quarter of the Coast of Maine and a quarter of the earthworm casting. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. So I'm just going to take one of these cups and fill it up with the Roots Organics. And then I'm going to take my Coast of Maine and I just want to fill this cup up halfway. All right. It doesn't need to be exact. All right. We don't need to be weighing things out or anything like that. It's very forgiving. So we'll get those 2 out of our way, and then we're going to get another half a cup of the earthworm castings here. Okay. So that's about half a cup there. And then what I'm going to do is we're just going to go ahead and mix it all together. You want to make sure that you don't have any big clumps in the soil. That does happen, especially with the earthworm castings. So you just want to break up all that kind of stuff. And then you just want to incorporate this stuff really well together. Now, it's not uncommon to have some rocks and, things like that in your soil. So if we were mixing up some bigger pots to have these in, I wouldn't be bothered by any rocks or anything like that. However, with it being seedlings, we got it in a small vessel here. We're going to want to try and remove as much of that stuff as possible. So, we're not going to add any type of nutrients to this because the seedlings, they don't need much nutrients at all. They could really go without any nutrients for quite a long time, longer than you'd really think. Okay, so we don't want any nutrients in there that could actually burn the plant, especially when they're seedlings. They're very finicky. They're not strong yet, so they can't take a lot of abuse. So we want to make sure that we got some really good conditions for them to thrive in. Okay, so I've got this all mixed up here now. It's a nice light consistency. All right, folks, so that's my simple organic seedling soil. Now, just to recap what we did, we used 50% of the Roots Organics original, 25% of the earthworm castings, and then 25% of the Coast of Maine manure compost. So just to kind of recap on what the benefits are of this, you can again use the Roots Organics straight up, but I do like incorporating both of these, and for the reason that this is high in nutrients, and so I wanted to cut that a little bit because the seedlings just don't need that many nutrients in the first couple weeks of life. So I really like to incorporate some earthworm castings at 25% because is it's going to add to soil moisture retention, and then also it's going to add the biology into that organic soil that we want. And then I like to add the Coast of Maine manure compost. It's going to add a little bit of nitrogen in there from the manure, which, by the way, it is organically fed cows. They take the manure from that, and then it is also peat moss, and it's also aged oak bark that they then compost together, and that's what this is created. So the other benefit of the peat moss that's inside this Coast of Maine is it's really good for soil moisture retention as well too. So with these two additives, it really creates a good moisture retaining, and then you're also going to get a little bit different of a biology from the cow manure that you would here as you would in the earthworm castings. And what we want is we want a nice diverse soil biology, and so with these two it really helps to aid in that. So again, very simple recipe. It's worked really well for me. I'm hoping to share it with all of you and hope that you guys have some great success. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Share it with anyone you can. I'd really appreciate it. If there's anything I missed or there's any questions, throw them down in the comments section below and I'd be happy to answer them. Until next time, let's keep growing together.